A believing heart is everyone's magic. That is the origins of magic in Little Witch Academia. The beliefs of the general public having this fuel, having this spirit, and having this fire that gave magic a purpose in this world. But ultimately, when people stopped believing in magic, believing more in modern technology, of course magic started to dwindle down and become something that seemed to be obsolete, and of course, we saw what happened with the academy that all these witches were going to. In this episode, we get a magic power-up when everyone's on their broom. Everyone pretty much builds the ultimate broom, each one doing a different thing so they can get to this rocket in time before everything kind of hits the fan and it blows up the moon. But when Diana and Akko are almost there, their magic is running out, and the beliefs of the people charge up their broom, because everyone says they are our only hope. When this never used to happen in modern day, no one believed in witches to solve their issues. It's all modern technology and the government and the police force. This is who's going to solve your issues. But these two girls risking their lives going to, basically, it seems to be suicide for them, they start believing, and that ultimately charges them up. And generally, that would be like a kind of friendship is power and all that other bullshit like Fairy Tail constantly uses. But in the case of Little Witch Academia, it actually makes sense because this is how magic oriented, you know, this is how magic became to be, is the beliefs of the general public is what fueled magic in the first place. So everyone believing and watching them fly up there risking their lives, of course, is going to fuel and give them more power. So I absolutely loved how they did that. It was that cliche moment, but they took that cliche and they rolled with it and actually made it work with their world, and it was absolutely great. And then one thing I saw some people were like saying like, how the hell was that getting broadcasted because the government wasn't doing it and, you know, none of our characters were doing it. But I think that was also magic itself, kind of like it's taking it a life of its own kind of a thing, or maybe it was the spirit of one of the 9 witches that was doing it. Either one of them would make sense because either way we've seen that magic can take a life of its own, so that would make total sense to me. But I thought this final episode was absolutely great. I think everything that we were building up to happened. Hell, we even get to see Akko kind of ride a broom. She doesn't fly that high, but she still gets to ride that broom, so she's overcoming that disability that she had. And I thought this was great, but the star of the episode is, I think it's like 2 minutes, it might be 3 minutes maximum, but when they're basically dodging the missile, and Akko is jumping off the broom, she's transforming, she's using that transformation magic, the way they animate that was flawless. It was so fluid and so vibrant, it was just so entertaining to watch because just the way they shot it, the way they're using camera movements and how Akko was jumping around and they were distorting kind of like distance and just warping of perspective, it looked absolutely incredible. I mean, this episode was just so fun. I'm surprised they didn't do like, you know, some Gurren Lagann or some other mecha type stuff and it was just solely the broom, because usually Trigger, you know, showcases something from another series, but they've already done enough of that, so I actually thought the way they kind of finished it with that broom, kind of, and they had a lot of kind of throwbacks to different characters like the dragon in like, I think it was like episode 6 of the series, to even that rogue broom coming back to save the day, which it had a life of its own. So I absolutely loved how they overcame this and ultimately the beliefs of the general public, because this is what we were building up to, reviving magic, but we did it in the way that 2 young witches at the end restored faith in the general public, even the prime minister of the country, even Andrew's father. Everyone starts saying, we believe in witches again, and that restores magic, and of course the shiny rod no longer has a purpose and kind of disintegrates into the air. This was a great ending. I think, you know, some people probably are going to criticize, oh, it was just the beliefs of the public and that charged them up, but that's how magic came to be in this world, so that makes total sense, and I thought this was a great finale. I thought there was just the way they were getting up there, each of them serving their own purpose for the broom, kind of unattaching themselves from the broom, kind of going away, and then by the end it was just Akko and Diana, so for those shippers, they were probably pretty happy. I just thought overall, this was a great final episode. This series at the core was great. It did kind of stall for a little bit once we got into the second core, but the past like 6 or 7 episodes of this series have been absolutely phenomenal. Trigger outdid themselves, and if we get a season 2, you know I'm going to be here watching this, but it did have a great stopping point, so if this is all we ever get with Little Witch Academia, I think this was a fantastic conclusion. Sure, some of the art quality was hit or a miss even within this episode, but when they kicked it up a notch with the animation, like in this episode where Akko was jumping off of objects, transforming, and the way they're using perspective, they absolutely killed it. And I can't wait to see what happens when they polish it up in the Blu-rays and DVDs, because you know I'm going to be rewatching those when I have access to it. But let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. How did you enjoy the series overall? And what was your favorite moment in this episode? Because I already said mine is that awesome animation techniques they were using when Aqua was jumping around. But let me know some of your favorite moments from the episode, and maybe just the series overall down in the comment section below. And before you leave, smack that like button to show your support. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.